Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. Well, I get a lot of requests for a lot of things that you guys would like me to make, and one of the biggest things is an iPad case. Now, it took me a little while to figure out what we were going to do and what we were going to make this out of because I knew that I wanted to make sure that it protected your iPad. Now, what I'm going to teach you can be used for your iPad or any other sort of handheld device like this. The thing about it is all the measurements will be different, so you're going to need your device to make this, this cover. Now, I want to just make it very, very clear. There are a lot of steps to this, and this is not an easy duct tape craft. This has got some challenge to it. So if you haven't quite mastered your duct tape skills yet, you might want to go back and look at some of my other videos and get yourself really comfortable with duct tape before you attempt doing the iPad case, because there are a lot of steps and it's a little tricky. But I think when it's all done, it's well worth it, don't you think? It even has places where your buttons are, so you'll be able to turn it on. It even has a spot for your camera so that you can make sure that you can still take pictures of your friends, even in the case. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to make one. So for this project, we are going to need the device itself. And I'm actually going to pull it out of here so that I can have the device handy. So you're going to want that for measuring, and also for seeing where all the buttons and holes and all that kind of stuff is. You're going to need it. Okay, you're going to need some cardboard or foam core. You want something that has a little body to it. You don't want like a cereal box. You actually want like a corrugated kind of cardboard or foam core. Very, very important. This is what's going to protect your device so it doesn't get banged up. You're also going to be needing a work surface, and in this case, I know you guys are going to laugh. Those of you who watch me a lot know that I'm a duct tape ripper. Well, for this one, I am actually going to be using an X-Acto knife. So remember, with X-Acto knives, these are dangerous. They can cut you. Please, 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 adult supervision, and always, always, always be safe with them. Okay, you're going to need a dry erase marker. This is going to be used for making marks, and then they wipe right off. These are great. You're going to need your duct tape. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need a cutting surface for using that X-Acto knife. Very, very important. You're going to need a ruler. And I have my work surface that I always love working on. You don't necessarily need that. You could use the surface for the cutting, but I like my work surface, so I'm going to be using that. And last but not least, you're going to be needing some Velcro. And this is sticky back Velcro, which I love. Awesome stuff. All right, first step. First things first, you need to make your base. Remove this stuff. Okay. What you want to do is take your cardboard and take your device and lay the device onto the cardboard. And you want to just make sure that the device fits. It's like your device is not hanging over anything. Your device is snugly within the sides of your cardboard here. So if it's too small, you want a bigger piece, okay? You got to make sure that the cardboard itself is bigger than the device so that you can always cut down. So see, I'm just going to measure right here, and I've got a nice lip up there, nice lip down there. Now, I don't want a whole lot of extra. It's a little tricky, but I do want to make sure that I've got enough overhang that I'm not too tight up against it. Okay, so now I'm just going to measure with my ruler here, and that's about 7, a little bit less than 7 3/4. So I'm going to mark it with my pen, and I'm just going to mark it down here. And then I'm going to connect the two. And then I'm going to cut. Now, I was lucky enough that my piece of cardboard was actually about the right size. If it wasn't, I would be measuring on all 4 sides. I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife. And again, be very careful when you do this. I find that it's best if you use your ruler, lay your ruler down, take your X-Acto knife, make sure that the point is always facing down, and you want to push hard through, going along the edge of that ruler. When you do that, you're going to keep yourself safe because your fingers are nowhere close to that blade. And always make sure that you're pulling down. There you go. What's nice is you get a nice clean edge. There you go, like that. So I'm going to actually skip ahead where I've already got my 2 pieces cut here. Actually, I have 3 pieces cut here. I have 2 pieces cut here. That's what I'm going to want. I'm now going to cover them with duct tape. Now, when I cover these with duct tape, the way that I like to do it is I like to, so that I get nice, clean edges, what I like to do is make it twice as long as my piece of cardboard here. I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I'm just actually going to leave a tiny little bit there. See that? Tiny little bit. So I lay my first piece down. I pick it up and flip it over and fold it around and seal it. And I'm going to take my next piece. Again, I want to double. Now, like when I make my duct tape fabric, I want to make sure that I'm overlapping by at least a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to overlap here by a 1/4 inch, flip her over, seal on the back. There you go. Now, one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you when you're making your case is make the entire case out of 1 color or 2 colors, and then come back after the entire thing is done and embellish. That way it'll be nice, neat, and clean, as opposed to trying to mix your colors now while because you're going to see there's a lot of steps where you're layering and stuff like that. So if you just start with 1 color and then come back at the end and embellish, you're going to be better off. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead again to where I have my whole piece covered, except for these edges. And the reason I did that is I want to show you how I do my edges. So to get my edges nice and clean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape, I'm going to measure, so it's just about the same size here, and I'm going to lay it over that edge, and then I'm going to fold it over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back and trim this little bit right here. So now it's nice and neat at the top. See that? And I do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to skip ahead to having 2 of these already done. So here you can see I've got my 2 pieces done. Now what's going to be important is I'm going to connect these 2 pieces. Here's the most important thing about this. I don't want to connect them close up like this because then there will be no place for my device. What I need to do is I need to allow there to be space so that my device can be inside there. See that? See how there's it's like a sandwich that I'm going to create. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape, and this is why I was saying use the same color. Come back and embellish later. I'm going to measure with my device. It's really, really important to have that device because you're going to need it for all your measuring. Okay, I'm going to lay my piece of tape down, and see every single device is different too. So that way you can make sure that you're getting it correct for your device. Lay that piece down. As you can see, I've got a little bit of extra there. Lay your piece down, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take a second piece of tape, and what I'm going to do is rip this at the same. I'm going to split this down the middle. I'm going to take this piece of tape and I'm going to put it right down the middle, almost like a divider line in the highway. I'm going to put it right down the middle. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because this is going to become the spine, like in a book, it's going to become the spine. I don't want this to be sticky and stick to my device, so this is going to keep it from being sticky. So now what I can do is I'm just going to lay one, see this edge here? I'm going to lay this right there, and I'm going to overlap it a tiny little bit, very, very, very tiny little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but that's like a 1/16 of an inch there. See that? Just a tiny little bit. And then I'm going to lay my device down, and then I'm going to lay the top down. And now that I've laid that top down, See if I turn it this way, you can probably see it easier. I'm going to just take this whole thing and wrap it up and on and seal it like that. See that? Now I just take this and fold it over. Take this and fold it over. Now, I want to make sure that this stays nice and secure. So I'm going to take that little piece of tape that I had before here so I don't waste it. I'm just going to use that right there and seal that along the edge. Rip off the extra. I can use that little piece right there. And I'm going to take another big piece. I'm just going to seal the other side. So see, this is why I was saying use the same color. I know. Beating a dead horse. Okay, there we go. You all know. Use the same color. All right, so now I've got a protective holder for my iPad.